Good evening. This video is to help you with homework, page 392 to 394. The image that's here in black is the pre-image. Letter A says list the ordered pairs. Remember, you go in the house and upstairs. So A will be 0, 1, B, 1, 2.5, C, 3, 2.5, B, 5, 1. Remember to pause the video anytime you need to kind of take in some information. B says place your trapezoid here, so you're at this one, and now vertically go down, or go -5 vertically. So it doesn't say go down, but vertically means up and down, and then negative means down. So if we go 1, and remember they're counting by halves, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our D prime, or our D1, will go here. Then we do the same thing for C, B, and A. Now it wants to know where are those points on C. Well, A is at 0, -4. B prime, or B1, is at 1, -2.5, and so on. Now if we compare, this stayed 0, this stayed 0. This was a 1, but this became a -4. The x stayed the same, the y changed. The x stayed the same, the y changed. So when we do a vertical change, the y changes. So 1 minus 5 is -4. 1 minus 5, -4. 2.5 minus 5, -2.5. You should start to see the pattern. Now we're going to do a horizontal shift. It wants us to go 5 horizontally and negative, so to the left. So we're going to go from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our C2, or C double prime, C11 with the 2 tallies, will be at -2, 2.5. So it was at 3, 2.5. And now it's at -2, 2.5. So now the x will change, but the y will stay the same. And you'll list out those points. So for horizontal, the x changes, but the y stays the same. So 0 minus 5 is -5. 1 minus 5, -4. But then all the y's stay the same. Make sure you have all your drawings and labeled either with a single one, D1, C1, or C2, D2. Okay, next page. If we compare A, B, C, D to the pre-image to the image, image 1, wants to know what's happening. Well, we just discussed it, but let's write it down. All of the y values are 5 less, but the x's stayed the same. And the opposite in G. When we go from pre-image to the second image, all the x's are 5 less, and the y's stayed the same. Now, if I were to move, I'm going to talk about H. If I were to move this pre-image and go up 10 and recall it D, E, F, G, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, they have to coordinate. So the A, since it's called D, E, F, G, would start with D. This would be a E, this would be a F, and this would be a G, and it would be up here. Well, you would move A up 10. So A would be 0, and then you're at 1, so you'd go up 10, 11. You'd be at 0, 11. So the x wouldn't change, but the y would. So you can just take your original points, these, and just add 10 to all the y's. So D, E, F, G would be 0, 11. E, F, G. You can see it here and kind of compare it and match. Same thing on I. Now they're going to go the other way, horizontal, but they're going to call it HJKM. HIJKL. Well, they didn't go in order. Maybe they want to make a word, so they call it milk, M-I-L-K. Well, since H is first, A goes with H. B goes with J. That's why we really like when they call it A prime or A2, B2, C2, D2, because we know the A goes with the A. This can get confusing because look, I have a D here and I have a D here, but this A goes with that D. Recall, the two geometric figures are considered congruent when they are the same shape and size. So let's answer 2, no, and B, yes, and make sure you explain on there. All right, the last page are all images, so the new image that we make, not the pre-image, are they congruent to the original from a translation? And translation is our 8th grade word for movement. Yes, all you're doing is taking that thing and moving it somewhere else. Make sure you explain. For any real number, C or D, we're going to explain X and Y. So if I move something X units, not X, sorry, C or D. So if I move something horizontally, left or right, C, some number C, maybe it's 7, what happens? The Y stays the same, but the X adds 7. Or if it's negative 7 for C, then it subtracts 7. So when I do horizontal, the X coordinate is affected. When I do vertical, the Y coordinate will be affected. You'll, whatever your D units are, you'll take Y and add D to it. So horizontal changes the X. Hoy Vux, H-O-Y. H, horizontal changes the X. Vux, V-U-X. Remember vertical, undefined X. So sorry about that. Hoy Vux. Horizontal change, horizontal line, 0 slope, Y. So the Y doesn't change. And then Vux, V-U-X. V stays the same, it's undefined. The X stays the same, you change the Y. So Hoy Vux. Change the X for the Hoy, change the Y for the Vux. Have a good night.